All right, everybody, we're back, and this is an absolute treat. I can't wait to dive into this game. Within the Scrabble community, these two players need very little introduction. It's Stefan Fatsis versus Chloe Fatsis, his daughter. Cecilia, I am really excited to watch this one play out just because can you imagine how meaningful this must be to both of these players?
This is an incredible matchup. Stefan, obviously a legend in the Scrabble tournament community. Chloe has just been a rising star, doing incredibly well. And I was looking over the break at their record, and they have played 11 tournament games against each other. Stefan has won 6, and Chloe has won 5, and so she has the chance now to even their record.
Wow. So very closely contested matchup. But of course, as you say, Chloe has made huge strides in her game in recent, months and years. And I can say for myself, having seen some of her games, annotated games, she's really reached a new level here. An excellent player. Stefan, obviously a very strong player in his own right. His journey to expertdom chronicled in the book Word Freak, which many of us that was our motivating factor to try tournament Scrabble at all. So
Was that
Stefan
yours, Will?
opens. Essentially, I would say my answer to that is kind of yes, but it took me many years to sort of realize that I was the target audience for this book, right? Like, as somebody that's always loved word games, I read the book not long after it came out and didn't, it just felt like, wow, this is a really cool story. It didn't feel like it was something that I should take personal notice, like, hey, you two can do this. And then all it took after that was another tournament player to sort of say, hey, you should try this. I think you would enjoy it and have some ability at it, for me to say, yeah, I did read that book, and maybe I'll give it a try. So it was kind of like Word Freak started that, it planted that seed, and then it eventually germinated, and here I am today. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. So um, and just amazing to think that, I just remember the first time I watched and commentated on a game that Chloe played. She was in middle school competing at the school Scrabble championship, and now here she is, a legitimate, Division 1 expert player, playing her dad in a game on stream. It's really cool, kind of a full circle moment.
Folks in the
So
chat are putting their money on either Chloe or Stefan,
Oh,
and
I should have done a
we
prediction here.
we've
Maybe I'll
got
do one
backers
real
for both
quick.
sides. And I recall that in the epilogue of the book's original edition, Stefan talks about how he's had to step away a bit. He had a new baby on the way, and so uh, as you mentioned, it just must be incredibly gratifying for him to be here at table one playing that baby today.
I'm gonna try to do a quick prediction before we get too much further in the game, if I'm able to do it. So you guys that are, taking bets on who's gonna win can actually get this in here. I'll give it a period of 2 minutes. Hopefully, it doesn't get. So now you guys can bet on who wins using the Twitch prediction functionality. So, all right, Glow and Wang is the play for Chloe. That's a nice, usage of that hook. Of course, then she drew 2 U's to pair with the U she already kept, which that is certainly not what she wanted here. Seemed like a reasonable choice. A lot of similar choices for her here. The main thing that Chloe wanted to accomplish on that move is just use the U if she could. But using the W, also a good goal. So I like that choice. But now Stefan
Is
would have
just waiting
wished,
for one of those U's.
needs the U. Yeah, he's desperate to get that U. 3 of them on Chloe's rack, but none of them on the board. So a tricky move for him here. He's got really good bingo tiles. Wang takes that nice S hook. He's got 2 S's. what is he going to do to try to, I mean, I guess there are a couple of things he could do. He could just play NOS through the O of glow and keep a really, really strong leave of rents. Or maybe he just plays SEN underneath glow, pluralizing glow, and scoring a little bit better at a cost of using his lone vowel. Those are two plays that seem okay to me. Any instinct on this move, Cecilia?
No, I'm thinking about what Chloe's going to do to get out of this spot.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nice thing about Scrabble and exchanging your tiles is after a certain point, your tiles can be really bad, incredibly bad, legendarily horribly bad, and once it gets past a certain threshold, you're just going to exchange either way. So that's kind of the situation for her here. This was another choice, just cashing one of the two S's and playing rents here. That seems reasonable as well. I think this was a reasonable pathway for Stefan to take here. That resulting board, though, it's this, these hard angles of the board. It's going to make it a little difficult for Stefan to use that S in the future, but certainly exchanging feels like it could be in the cards for Chloe here. Yes, getting the score for you guys. Sorry. So Chloe with the 3 U's. If she were to put a play on the board, I guess maybe it would be Ulu through the L of glow for 3 points. That's not so great. And meanwhile, Stefan with a much more balanced rack.
Wow.
And an A, he draws an important letter here. The A is important because it hooks onto glow to make a glow. So that is going to help him significantly to get one of his bingos down, and he has a bunch on that rack.
Yeah, he he chose to blow up his rack. I think that could certainly be argued for, even though I might have gone the other way with fishing. But now he's drawn into just a great draw.
So something like treason, senator, a couple of those things definitely fit there. Suggestion of maybe playing unglue. That's 14 points, leaving IU. I don't know. Tough. I think there she goes. She exchanges, leaving just EN. Seems reasonable. She could have kept the L and the I as well, just to keep as many good bingo letters together as possible. But this is a reasonable choice on her part. And Stefan is about to play treason and glows. So this is a pretty solid play here. 76 points. It does create a nice scoring spot, but we love it. So father strikes first bingo of the game in this familial matchup. And Cecilia, we had a cameo from your son moments ago who dispensed some incredibly, wise beyond his years advice about Scrabble. Is this could there at some day in the future, is there going to be a similar matchup taking place in your family? Kind of hard to say. This is the first thing I've ever seen like this. So cool. Yeah. I mean, I've never seen this happen before. I don't think so. Yeah, that would be amazing. But of course, this
was a few years.
Yeah, this was decades in the making here. So, all right, treason for Stefan. Let me get his score. Sorry, everybody. Back to Chloe now.
Chloe's got the possibility of piety here.
True. I mean, she's certainly her first, the first option here is going to be looking to play to that triple on top of treason. Unfortunately for her, it doesn't feel like there's a really great option that fits there. The tiles just don't quite offer her those, words in that spot. Piety seems to be a good option to me, getting rid of the P and Y. You could also imagine her playing Yipe alongside the R of rents. That's, reasonable choice. Uses up that E, but also scores 30 points. So a bunch of different choices for her here. She's thinking it through. It looks like she may be about to play Yipe. Dewey Seedling says, I have the possibility of piety, but not the realization of it. Scrabble imitating life there. Yeah, I mean, Scrabble itself is a form of, I don't know, some kind of religious experience for many of us. But I don't know, sometimes Scrabble can be this meditative thing, but it also can be this incredibly agonizing thing, depending on how the tiles come out. So Yipe is the play. I think I don't mind that play, although placing the Y in the triple lane can often have, some repercussions. I think it's definitely worth it for her here.
Yeah, I like making an aggressive play in this position, her being down so much.
True. The scoreboard does kind of dictate that she not worry so much about making those types of aggressive openings. So over to Stefan. You saw he drew both the Z and the X. Looks like setting up Zoea on his rack. This is a classic word that you see a lot at this level of Scrabble. The Z paired up with so many of those vowels that when you have a rack like this word becomes super useful. He may be getting ready to play that alongside the RE of rents. There's also, after Chloe's play, there's a possibility of playing res here. So you could play Azo and res in that spot, which looks pretty good as well. Meanwhile, Chloe's tiles have improved significantly. I'm pretty sure she's likely to bingo next turn, Cecilia.
Yep. I prefer Zoea myself, but
interesting. Ox to play there. I wonder why not Axe, undoubling the A's. There could be a reason. Stefan might have a plan for those A's in hand. But still, either way, you're getting a really nice score here, 36 points, leaving the Z for next turn. Pretty solid choice, but Chloe's going to make a big dent in her dad's lead here. Something like Attained or Indagate. There's definitely a couple choices here. You guys spotting them in the chat. Nicely done. So
what do you think here? She's down 100. Attained obviously opens a ton of volatility. Which
Attained with the A in. Okay, so she plays Dentalia, 61 points. That's solid. I think Indagate would have been slightly better for 70 without opening too much. Wow, Azides is a huge response here if Stefan sees it through that D of Dentalia.
Yeah.
But to your point, okay, Zetas is just is similarly good. Getting that Z in the good spot very, very quickly comes down for Stefan. Nicely spotted there. Again, maybe Azides ever so slightly better just to get rid of the I, which doesn't pair so well with the W. But this is an excellent play by Stefan, and he plays it fast. Wow, yeah,
Look at Chloe. She's got Sinology, and she sees it.
Oh, that's going to be amazing. Wow, what a bingo to play on stream for her. A couple different options to that Y, but Sinology is a great choice. It actually can be designated a T as well, Cytology as well. Sorry to anybody trying to use the bot with also a prediction going. I will help you guys. That's my fault, not updating it. So Chloe clearly sees it. That's going to be a great play and cut that gap significantly. And it's also going to give her quite a bit of, street cred for playing such a nice word on stream here.
I'm happy this is turning out to be an exciting and competitive game.
Yeah, a lot will turn. So, wow, great play. Look at that. So let's see if we can tell what it looks like. That is an N. I'm pretty sure I saw her circle that first letter of the second row of the alphabet. So I'm going to say that is almost certainly an N. A great, great play by Chloe. 83 points for her here, making a huge dent, like I said, in that gap in the scoreboard. She's much, much closer now. And a lot hinges on this draw out of the bag for her. Let's see what she gets. The first three letters of her own name. But the Q follows up there. Probably not the letter she wanted to see, but maybe she can make something happen with it. So
Stefan is considering jaw. I assume
he's
and
probably
he's got that O to follow it up.
Oh, beautiful! Great point. So he's considering playing jaw in the upper, I assume, in the upper right corner of the board. And that is so clever too, because normally your Scrabble instinct tells you that when in doubt, you would want to play an O instead of an A. But the fact that Stefan is considering playing jaw instead of jow, this is next level here. He's doing this because he has an O and he's getting ready, as you say, Cecilia, to plop that O down in the corner. And Chloe is pretty powerless to do anything about that. Great play by Stefan here.
Yep.
So even just OM, so Stefan has OM on his rack. That play will play up in that upper right corner for 43 points on his next turn. That's a very, very impressive foresight on his part. So yes, Joey OKC, this is a father-daughter matchup here. Two Division I expert Scrabble players that, again, this matchup, years in the making. As you know, Chloe, from her beginnings as a school Scrabble player, has worked her way up to a legitimate top expert in Division I, and Stefan, a very solid expert player himself. So this is a really, really cool matchup. And, Scrabble does, I'm an only child and my parents don't play. And I feel like the Scrabble world is kind of my family, but, this is actual family here. And it's very cool to see.
And people in the chat are wondering if they're the Fatsises or the Fatsies.
Good question. I don't know. Don't have the answer to that. What the plural is there. I guess we'll have to ask them at some point. Sorry, I need to give Stefan his points for jaw. So he actually
Chloe
moves up.
here, her options are a little bit constricted, but I'm looking at just a simple QI down under treason, which would open up another line for her because she is, a beat behind.
True. That's a good choice. Yeah, it's nice too because she has, well, I guess it's not that helpful that she has another I to potentially re-underlap. Another idea, it doesn't keep very good letters, but if she wanted to play QAT to the T of Dentalia, that doesn't make me too excited. And then, of course, there are two spots to play the F underneath Synology there. So a lot of different choices. I don't really know which one I favor. In general, definitely ridding yourself of that Q at this level where the players know so many bingos, so many longer words that they're able to find and play. The Q really does hurt your ability to do that. So getting rid of it as soon as possible is often a great idea. But she doesn't have amazing options to accomplish that. So this is a tough one.
Well, Jay is pointing out that playing IF, which it looks like she's about to do, sets up QAT for the next turn. So I love that.
Very nice. So yeah, that looks, very nice. Another spot to play QAT for a solid score. Seems reasonable. She's got a chance. Remember, early in the game, she exchanged 3 U's, and we have yet to see a U on the board. So maybe she draws one. Oh, man, she draws something better, the second blank. So Stefan immediately cashes his setup. That is just when a plan comes together, it's beautiful sometimes. That's definitely the right play for Stefan. He earned those 43 points that he just scored. And potentially Chloe is going to execute on her plan. But wow, I see in the chat. Oh, and she sees it too. She is about to potentially play her second incredibly nice blank bingo of the stream. First Sinology to the Y of Yipe, and she's about to play Pratique with a blank U. Amazing. That's incredible.
That's beautiful.
Oh my God. She's
And
putting
look at
forth.
Stefan. He's sort of,
He's
he's got a smile on his face.
how can you not smile in his when you see that your daughter has just played two ridiculously good blank bingos on stream against you? How can he do anything but smile? That's
Very
incredible.
elegant.
And that's just amazing. So in his situation here, he also is in a bit of a tough spot. That B, or rather, I should say, the E of Pratique, he's going to play Bleb through there. That seems to be a pretty nice play. Not great to keep IOUV, but it's nice to address that open E at the base of the board and score 33 points. I think that's a pretty reasonable choice. I don't know. Maybe there just wasn't much better in that situation. So
yeah, I'm not seeing better. He's keeping himself a beat ahead, and I think he can work himself out of his vowel trouble later.
The U's return, meanwhile, on Chloe's rack here. Not exactly what she wants. Suggestion of auteur through the T of Pratique. That seems reasonable. You could also imagine just playing Q here. The Q, U, E,
He's got both the hooks.
She does have the hooks. That is a risky play to make, just because Stefan could easily have other hooks, right? Like he could have an R or a D himself. So I worry a little bit. But that is maybe if Chloe feels like being aggressive, that's the choice that she'll make. And of course, we know it's going to work out very well for her here because Stefan doesn't have a great way of dealing with that. But let's see what she elects to do. She's going to play Uria at the top of the board. That's much safer, much less open to getting hammered in response. So she's biding her time, and maybe she hopes to get that next bingo down before her father and seize control of the game for good that way.
This is a great father-daughter matchup.
The matchup got me excited already, and the game is working out to be every bit as advertised. I want to point out a play that I don't think I've seen pointed out in the chat yet, so I'm going to do it myself. A play for Stefan here through the T of Dentalia and the E of Treason. He could play out Vi here, which would be an excellent choice for him to sort of undouble the I's, get the U and the V both off of his rack, and score 25 points. If he spots that, my hat will be off to him, because that is an incredible play in that spot. He actually had it available on the previous turn with Bleb as well, but I think
that's a really nice bailout, Will.
Yeah, I think Bleb was fine there to block that E, but out Vi now feels like it is just what the doctor ordered for Stefan. So let's see if he's able to come up with it. That is a tough spot, though. So if he
sees it, he's not showing it.
Yeah, and if he doesn't see it, what then? That's the real question. What's he going to do? This is a really tough rack, of course. The V, the U together, that's not a good combination. The two I's, another issue to deal with. It's hard to come up with like a priority list for what is the top priority for Stefan to deal with here, just from a rack perspective. And then there's also the fact that he's only up by 7 points. There's such a strategic and a game situation perspective here too. So this is a tough move for him. Frankly, I don't know what you're supposed to do here if not out Vi, and that's not an easy play to spot. Any thoughts?
It's a very tough spot to see, but I feel like there's a chance he could see it, because it just gets rid of all the letters that he needs to unload. And so, maybe he's looking at his tiles. He's looking at the T in Pratique, which is a lot easier to, a lot more apparent, and then maybe he thinks of the word and he finds another place, but it doesn't appear to us as though that's happening yet.
Yeah, Mo Green 18, who joined us on commentary yesterday afternoon. Nice to see you, Morris. Points out civil through the eye of pratique. Looks like Stefan may be leaning towards that. You see it spelled out on his rack. That could be a reasonable choice. Right before that, what's he going for here? Aulick. Okay, so this does accomplish some of the goals that he likes. It gets rid of one of the two eyes. It gets rid of... it blocks the letters of pratique and leaves him a small amount ahead. He's up by 21 on a pretty tight board here, so that makes some sense to me. So yeah, this is tough. This is a really back and forth match here. A lot is going to hinge on if either player is able to bingo again, and Chloe is much closer than Stefan. As you see, his rack is clogged with a lot of those unwieldy tiles.
So what does she do now in this spot?
Well,
suggestion of duetto.
So duetto is a UK English word, unfortunately, not available in this particular game. I think probably the play that I like here, if she spots it, and this is not an easy spot either, would be ungot, UNGOT through the G of glows. That is actually a pretty good score. And the best thing about it is that it leaves DEE, which is a deceptively good leave because the D and E actually hook onto both HO and AN of treason.
Yep. So another really tough find.
Brutal. Yeah, brutal. I mean, there's plenty of merit for Chloe to just trying to dump a couple vowels off somewhere as opposed to that play. But the nice thing about ungot is that it actually scores decently too. Okay, so she plays do. That's a very reasonable play as well. I really don't think that's that much worse than any of the other plays we've suggested. Scores 15 points, and look at how close the game is. As Melissa BDC says, as their Scrabble wife and mom, I'm rooting for both of them. That is what I mean. We've already sort of won here as both players. Stefan and Chloe have made some incredible plays on stream, so they've already acquitted themselves incredibly well. So easy to root for both of them here.
Hi, Melissa. I love her diplomacy, not taking sides.
For sure. And oh, look at this. Chloe, after her play of do and Stefan's play in the upper corner of Vum, Chloe draws into that bingo, which is going to be a huge swing in this game.
Wow.
68 points for interior, vaulting her into the lead with Stefan continuing to deal with just an overload of these high point consonants. He is going to be able to score well with this, but wow, that's a huge swing. Incredible. Great job by Chloe to find a way to get that extra bingo down. We can probably start to display the tracking on screen now. There are 5 tiles in the bag and Stefan's move here. So there you have it. Pretty good unseen tiles to Stefan as well. Mostly solid mixtures of bingo and scoring tile. Oh, so hold on. That's not right. I will have it right in just a second. See, hopefully,
and it's unlikely that he's gonna bingo again. So I think that he's just looking to he's looking at YOK, which I initially thought was off of interior, but now I see the spot of it for it at the top of the board. So that scores a ton.
It does. 43 points in that spot under Chloe's bingo of Sinology. Wow, that's going to even the score.
This is gonna be a tough one. This is gonna be fought to the very end.
Chloe will still have a bit of an advantage after that, just because after that play of Yak by Stefan, which looks like it is a really strong option for him, there will be 2 tiles in the bag, and Chloe will kind of have her pick of how she wants to approach the end game in this game. Will she play a low number of tiles and try to set up an end game? Will she play a high number of tiles and try to end the game first by going out before Stefan can get 2 more moves in the game? She'll have her pick, and she's got an H that will help her to continue to keep that scoring pressure up. But both players with a good amount of time. It feels like most of the games so far on stream, one player has had a massive time advantage over the other. But both players playing with good pace, plenty of time for them to work some moves out in the end game. What's Yo? Do you think Stefan's going to play Yoke down low where you thought maybe he might play it, Cecilia, on top of interior? I mean,
wow,
it looks like maybe he will, which is going to be bad news for him because Chloe has a D.
Exactly. So I don't know if he needs to go that route.
He has plenty of time. So I think I feel like he's going to spot Yak at that top part of the board as you suggested. But we'll see. I'm a little worried now because there are a lot of extra points to be gained by playing up high.
Yeah, some folks in the chat are suggesting that he doesn't see it, or that's a possibility. Yeah, I'm feeling uneasy about Yoke. I just don't think he needs to do it. It has some merits. It leaves one in the bag, but given that he doesn't have the hooks.
Yeah, such a good chance that Chloe has one of the 2 Ds left that will allow her, I should say, to hook onto Yoke and score really well on the triple. Let's see. I'm sort of on the edge of my seat here to see what he's going to do.
Curious what the winning chances are after Yuck. It just looks really good, but as you mentioned, Chloe still has the advantage after that. I'm just, trying to assess by how much.
Yeah, I would say, it's still, Chloe is for sure still a clear favorite in the game. All right, now he's got just Yak. Let's see, where is he going to play it? Amazingly, though, if he does play Yak down low, and he does play it where we want him to play it for 43 points at the top of the board, taking, for now, a 5-point lead, putting Chloe in a bit of a difficult scenario. But I was going to say, if he did play Yoke down low, I still don't think that would have been the best play. However, she did not have an E to hook Yoke, right? So had he played Yak on top of interior, it would have left a very awkward scenario for Chloe not having an E to hook. And Stefan would have potentially been able to make a Yoke hooking play, drawing one of those E's. In fact...
With 2 E's unseen to him, though, I just don't know if he could sacrifice the points.
I got to make sure you guys are
seeing
the right
the last
tracking.
one, I would feel like it had more merit, but
yeah,
there's just a chance that she could slam him there as well.
True.
Okay, so Morris is saying the bag isn't correct.
Yeah, I fixed it. It just takes a few tweaks here. So it is correct now. So Chloe can sort of see that there are a few threats here. Like, Stefan could have Deceive that would play underneath Treason with Hod and Ain. So she's going to be thinking about that. I'm sure there's a few other things maybe in that zone that are worth considering. Let's see what else I'm looking. Maybe just Deceive, which is, that's very specific. So with 2 tiles in the bag, if FR is in the bag, Stefan would have an out bingo to win that would probably require blocking by Chloe. So this is brutal. The nice thing for Chloe is that she's got time. She can think about it. It looks like she is considering Daunt. Where is that going to go? Let's see. Daunt maybe on top of interior. That would be very, very brave to extend an N or a T out into the triple lane like that. But maybe that ends up working out well for her in the end game. I think I would, I guess, yeah. Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, it must be blocking. So she must be thinking about playing it with Hod in order to block that lane, which does seem pretty decisive to block that area. That makes a lot of sense. The only issue with it, I guess, is that it doesn't score a ton. And if she doesn't draw an outplay from the bag, so I think we can reason out that the final two tiles in the bag are ER, which is going to be really nice for her. That's
It'd be
going
good for
to,
her.
yeah, she's going to have a lot of flexibility with those tiles.
She plays Daunt. She'll have the actually the THO and HEIR as an outplay option.
Oh, yeah, beautiful. That would be great. So Daunt does look like it has some merit on that basis. Um, it's certainly tempting to play her H parallel to Pratique as well, right? But you don't want to lose to Deceive.
Yeah,
um,
this is a really tough end game. You know, she's got to worry about him bingoing, about him outscoring her if she doesn't bingo. You know, she's looking at blocking that spot, and then she has to make sure that if she does, she gives herself the best possible chance of having an outplay or multiple outplays.
that is a lot going on for sure. Um, I'm just trying to
And I
see,
can't.
is there any other bingo that Stefan can have? Of course, you don't want to lose to his play of Deceive, which is still available from her point of view. At the same time, it is only one combination, right? And you need to make sure that your play wins against as many combinations as possible. So it's, you're scoring many fewer points to block, deceive, and play Daunt. You could probably score 30 plus here if you just play that alongside Pratique, right? You could score 32 if you play that alongside Pratique. That's quite a bit more than you would get by playing Daunt. 14 more points, and you can see every bit counts here. But she is going to play Daunt, and this is going to be huge for her as ER is going to come out of the bag and give her, as Cecilia said, a huge potential play making though. So this looks
And
like,
she's gonna be breathing a sigh of relief when she sees those tiles.
yeah, this is going to be, she's up now by 13 on the scoreboard. And she'll get that good news that she has HIER, air, in that really good spot. Even if Stefan blocks it, she will have an outplay from the T of rents as well, right? So she'll be able
Yep.
to play there higher for many fewer points, but even that is likely to be enough given that Stefan is going to struggle to unload both his F and V and C, all of which she can collect when she goes out and ends the game as points on her score. So, wow, it looks like this has been an amazing game, pretty much from start to finish, without any exception. And it looks like Chloe is going to barely edge Stefan out here.
You know, and
Um,
it would have been so easy for Chloe to get discouraged early in the game. She was down a bunch, but you know, she kept her head together. She found some incredibly elegant plays. You know, I'm just really impressed with her.
Yeah, and this is just sort of, I mean, it feels like kind of just the beginning for her, although it's crazy to say because she's been playing for a long, long time. But she really has sort of made this leap into a new level. I mean, come on, Synology, Pratique, these are crazy good bingos by her. Um, and she just held her nerve under a very pressure-packed situation. And is about to come away with a squeaker of a win. And frankly, Stefan himself gave an incredibly strong performance here. Really, I don't even know what you can point to. Maybe on the Aulic turn, if he somehow managed to find out Vi, that would have led to a very different game. But that's a really difficult play. Overall, really impressed with this family battle here.
I think Stefan knows he's doomed, but he can't feel too bad about it.
For sure. Yeah. Just like Melissa in the chat there, you saw Stefan's reaction when Chloe played Pratik, right? He couldn't contain his smile, right? How could you not be so gratified to see, your daughter making these incredible plays like that? So it's pretty amazing stuff here. You
And
really
Melissa's
do.
saying, unlike her mom, she doesn't choke under pressure. I don't know about that. I think it.
Yeah, I think no stranger to pressure and performing in front of an audience and anything
Runs in the
like that.
family.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, crazy stuff happens in Scrabble sometimes. You never know. Who knows what might happen down the stretch of this game? But it certainly looks like Chloe is about to pull off a pretty stunning, amazing comeback in this game against her dad. So
And I think that Stefan is doing just what you mentioned before, Will. He knows he's going to lose, but he can't bear to not figure out what the best play is.
yeah. So yeah, if you're in his shoes right now, you're definitely first of all, as we all know, it's not a given that the players will necessarily know exactly what their opponents have. That is why we track tiles. That's why every time a play is made in a tournament, you cross off the little letters on the score sheet. And theoretically, he could be just confirming, counting. You see him sort of tapping his finger. He might be counting the letters just to make absolutely sure that he knows what Chloe has. You wouldn't want to lose a game by mistracking the letters that your opponent has. So he could be doing that. But once he's confirmed what letters Chloe has, he definitely is realizing that she's got a big play right between Daunt and Interior. He's going to try to block it. It looked like he already found his sort of top evaluated endgame move of just feed the simple FEED underneath Interior. That does accomplish a really important goal of blocking Chloe's best outplay. The problem with it is it keeps the V and the C on Stefan's rack. That's a lot of points that she'll be able to collect when she plays there off of the T of rents instead. Much lower score, but she'll get a bunch of points from Stefan's rack, and that will pull her back into the lead.
What's really interesting is to go back and look later. I'm sure she'll be curious to know after Daunt what were the possibilities, and what two tiles could have, how many two tile combinations would have bailed her out.
I definitely like the logic behind Daunt. It has that nice attribute where any possible bingos that Stefan might be gearing up to play alongside Treason, you immediately block those possibilities by playing Daunt, and you set yourself up with an H to go into the end game. The H pairs really well in the end game with all different vowels, and she's got a really good place to play even just THE, right?
Yep.
Even just the word the simplest word that we use, that would play for a really good score underneath the T of Treason, making ha. So I love the logic behind Daunt. Obviously, the pre-end game, so difficult to evaluate all the possibilities and ideas. We were talking about all the different stuff that she has to consider. But I think she'll find when she analyzes that game after that she made a great choice.
I agree. I think Chloe's a player that just, really makes us excited about the future of Scrabble.
Yeah, the future is bright. So Stefan using up that time is his to use. It's always a shame to feel like you've not given your all in a game, even one that feels like you are for sure destined to lose. And he's burning that clock, trying to come up with any way of so for example, Ben in the chat, another one of my commentators from yesterday, suggesting that if you were to play something through the G and N and I of Interior, you might be able to block everything. So yeah, egendic, right, is the suggestion. Not a word, of course, but if there were such a word, that would be maybe a chance here. So he's looking for anything he can find like that.
Yeah, and I think he used time, just retracking the tiles, making absolutely sure that she's got what he thinks she has, because and here Fed's going down.
Yep. So he plays Fed, just forcing Chloe to come up with something different. And so Fed in that spot there brings Stefan up to 438. So he temporarily takes the lead. But Chloe is going to know that not only is her play of their score 9 points, so that will put her back in the lead by 1. She will also collect a bunch of points from Stefan's rack and win handily. So really amazing game. I mean, it's hard to imagine. The matchup itself was just incredible when we discovered that Chloe and Stefan were paired up in this round. But this might have been the most exciting game on the stream so far. So pretty amazing. Stefan placing those final tiles on the board, adding to Chloe's score for a final of 457 to 438. An incredible comeback by Chloe Fatsis in this game against her father, Stefan.
And Alex is pointing out that air would have been a very fitting word to end this game.
Great point. Yeah, heir, the heir to the Scrabble throne in this family, I guess. But that's what can you say? Just awesome. So
they're both smiling now. Doing that post-mortem.
Yeah, time to resolve this prediction. I was able to get one in there before. Oh, right. I have to do it on this account. To all the Chloe fans out there, you're about to get a few channel points for this channel. At some point, there will be more interesting ways to use your channel points on the Scrabble channel. But for now, there we go. Congrats to the Chloe fans here. Get a few extra points. Stefan supporters in shambles, as 14 Domino says. But really, how can you be that disappointed? Because Stefan put forth an amazing performance of his own.
Great game.
It really was. So I don't know how many more father-daughter matchups we are destined to see on the stream. This is a first for me.
And she did even their record. They're now 6-6 in tournament play.
That's right. Yeah, Cecilia, you had mentioned that they've played 11 times in tournaments prior to this, and now she is back to even against her father. And no slight to Stefan, but something tells me that Chloe is sort of on the upswing, not just against Stefan, but against everybody. She really has taken her game to a new level. So, man, that was super impressive. We've got one more game here in this sort of morning session where we will maybe a short break now, but we're going to be back in not too long with round 12, our last NWL round of the morning. But that was a really incredible game. I feel this feeling like we saw something special just now, Cecilia.
Yeah, I was very happy to be in the commentator seat for this one.
Yep, same here. So let's take a short break, and not sure if we can top that as far as a matchup, but we're going to have something good for you cooking up in round 12 in just a few minutes from the Crescent City Cup in New Orleans, Louisiana. Don't go anywhere.
See you soon.